Howdy, folks. Every now and then I get questions from people that watch my lessons, little things that I may have forgotten to mention, or possibly even things I've never even thought of myself. I recently got a question from a beginner who was asking me, since the strings are in pairs, that is, we have two strings for each note, the person wanted to know whether we're supposed to play both strings with each pick stroke, or whether we just play the top string on the way down and the bottom string on the way up. So let's take a closer look and I'll try to explain this. Here you can see I'm playing on the third string, the D string, and I'm just sort of dragging through both strings slowly so you can hear the two different strings. That's what you want on a pick stroke. You want to get both strings going. Now it happens very quickly, and it may look like you're only playing one, but you're trying to get both of them going. Now in the mandolin and in all instructional materials, we just call these strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even though they are in fact pairs of strings, we treat them like they're one. So the idea in playing the string is to play it as if it's one big string. And as you come down from the top and you strike the string, you might think, I'll just play the top one on the way down, I'll reach in and play the bottom one on the way up. But that's kind of defeating the purpose of having two strings. I once had a student, a lady, and she was progressing really nicely on the mandolin. Had the best tremolo for a beginner that I've ever seen. She could actually play on a single string without even touching the other string of the pair. I don't even know how she did that. Had the smallest hand movement. But we're trying to get both strings in motion. A typical note, you want to get them both going. Now if you've got good eyes, you can see that both strings are vibrating. And in fact, when you play, if you were playing only the upper string, the lower string would vibrate sympathetically a little bit anyway, being driven through the vibrations of the instrument. But just kind of let your pick glide over both strings as you go down, and again, both strings as you go up. Hopefully that little explanation made sense for you and will help you get a more full sound out of your mandolin. Now let me show you a little exercise, a little thing you can try to be certain that you are in fact getting the most out of it and making both strings vibrate on each pick stroke. So let me show you that. Now here's a little exercise for you to try to confirm whether and how much energy you're getting out of both strings. And when you're in standard tuning and you play them, like if I play that note, it's really impossible to know whether both strings are vibrating unless your eyesight is very good. So here's a little trick you can do to determine whether in fact you are making both strings vibrate. What you do is take one of the strings, it doesn't matter which, and detune it so that you get a completely different note. So if I play the upper string, I get one note, and the lower string, I get a different note. So if I'm merrily playing along, back and forth, and getting this, two separate distinct notes means you're doing it the wrong way. If you hear them both together, clashing, well, that proves you're actually playing both strings. So that's just a little test you can do, and it's tricky. You'll tend to get a little more of the upper one on the way down, a little more of the lower one on the way up. But strive to where the upstrokes and downstrokes sound similar, and you'll be getting the maximum energy out of both strings. Now, I know that's not the most pleasant thing to listen to when you're doing it right, But when you hear that clashing sound, it does prove that you are in fact making both strings vibrate, and that's your goal in general. I'm sure that it doesn't happen all the time, but in general, we have those two strings there for a purpose, to make the instrument louder and more resonant. So you want to try to get some sounds out of both of the wires for each string. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next lesson.